Blueballs at Christmas is an R-rated trad climb at Rumney that gets very few lead ascents. The mention of trad gear alone should send any Rumney climber running. Add in the rumors of zero sound gear placements, and you can understand why no one's lining up for this one on the weekends. My goal was to lead it on gear I could actually trust rather than thinking of it as a free solo. I did this by top roping ahead of time and finding gear placements, which I will share in this video. First piece is a number 2 ball nut placed in a horizontal. This horizontal wasn't even available to use until I pulled some chalkstone pebbles out of it with my nut tool. The only problem with this placement is it's not very deep, and there's a lip toward the front of the crack that doesn't actually make contact with the paddle. Because I wasn't entirely confident with this piece, I also chose to place an offset cam in this strangely flared crack pod feature. An offset isn't really required here, this is just the only cam I had that was narrow enough to fit. A 0.75 Z4 or totem would have been best. After an insecure move, you get to an okay jug where you can place the next piece. I used a red C3 in a small crack pod that was previously filled with chalkstone pebbles like the earlier placement. The cam sets well, but unfortunately the crack is a bit tapered out at the bottom. Quick note about the start, I tried to start as directly as possible and decided to avoid using the pedestal thing on my right. I don't know how the first ascension has started, but I believe at least some ascents have started off of the ledge, climbing up and left to the route's crux immediately. Starting the way I did is certainly contrived, but it does add a lot of climbing and makes the line feel quite a bit more independent. It also adds quite a bit of pump going into the crux, making the grade solid 11C in my opinion. Now I'm placing one of the crux pieces, a 2-3 offset, and a really nice tapering horizontal slot. I decided to double up here and also placed a number 0 Z4 in a deep horizontal slot my fingers are on. This is the piece I was falling on at the start of the video. Now I have to do the crux, which involves a couple of straightforward lock-offs on nice flat edges. This is a style I really like, and unfortunately it's not very common at Rumney. You get to a nice jug after the crux, and here I'm placing a 0.1 in a horizontal before sprinting for the first restful stance on the climb. At this point the line merges with the neighboring sport route, Romancing the Stone, and you could choose to clip the bolts on that climb. I chose to stick with trad gear the whole way and placed a nice number 1 cam in a horizontal at the knee bar rest coming up. After this I placed a good 3-4 offset and then fired through the pumpy head wall to the top. I finished the route, but I wasn't quite satisfied yet. I wanted to know if the sketchier first few pieces would have actually caught me. So here you can see my redneck top rope lead fall simulator. Basically just staying on my top rope as a backup while trailing a lead rope. I had my partner give me enough slack on the top rope to hopefully simulate enough distance for a lead fall. First test was on the Red C3, and it held quite well. Now the offset cam, the flared pod. And the red ball net. So they all held well, though the top rope might have provided some assistance. I tried to minimize this. Not bad for an R-rated route that isn't supposed to have any good gear.